When we reflect deeply on the brutal winters faced in World War II, the harshest thought that comes to mind is survival against overwhelming cold. In those frozen forests, bombed-out cities, and wind-ravaged fields, soldiers needed warmth that ordinary gear could not reliably provide. Wool blankets and thick sleeping bags were the common comforts one would expect, yet in reality, these often failed when drenched and frozen stiff. Among these challenges emerged a humble, overlooked hero: the unassuming straw. This natural material, so simple and abundant, quietly became the life-preserving insulator that outperformed all other issued supplies. Soldiers swore by it, clinging to its warmth when blankets froze solid, coats soaked through, and nights threatened to sap the very heat from their bodies. Straw was not a luxury, nor was it sophisticated technology. It was something much more elemental and accessible, a silent guardian that saved lives where woolen synthetic gear faltered. Entire units endured the harsh European winters not by piling on layers, but by sleeping on, stuffing themselves with, and surrounding their shelters with thick layers of straw. To appreciate the true value of this forgotten insulator, we must understand both the brutal conditions soldiers faced and the science behind straw's insulating power. During battles like those on the Eastern Front and the Ardennes, temperatures plummeted well below freezing, at times reaching below -30°C. These extreme colds would freeze weapons, water supplies, and human flesh alike. In the Battle of the Bulge, frostbite casualties were as devastating as combat wounds. Wool blankets, despite their warmth when dry, absorbed moisture quickly and turned heavy and cold, losing their insulating ability. Sleeping bags were scarce, and when wet became as hard and useless as stiff boards. The soldiers needed insulation that resisted moisture, stayed lightweight, and above all, was abundantly available in their war-torn surroundings. Straw, an agricultural byproduct scattered across the European countryside in barns, fields, and villages, met this need perfectly. Soldiers improvised, gathering it wherever they could find it, not just to line their beds, but to stuff inside their coats, boots, and even helmets. This was not an elegant solution, but it was profoundly effective. Where blankets failed, straw held the precious body heat close. The secret to straw's remarkable performance is not just in the material itself, but in the air it traps. Insulation works by creating barriers of still air that slow heat escape. Warmth does not come from fabric weight, but from these trapped pockets of air. Wool blankets lose their insulating loft when wet and compressed, while straw's stiff, hollow stalks resist collapse, keeping these air pockets intact even when damp. This trapped air acts as a thermal barrier, preventing the body's heat from bleeding out into the frigid world. When soldiers slept directly on icy ground, they would lose vital warmth through conduction. The frozen earth robbed their bodies of heat relentlessly, but lying on several inches of straw created a critical buffer that protected them from the cold earth. Stuffing straw into clothing added insulating bulk far beyond thin wool layers, ensuring warmth where it counted most. In effect, soldiers were enveloped in natural insulation that outperformed many issued suppliers under real battlefield conditions. Soldiers' resourcefulness in using straw was both inventive and practical. Stories from the Eastern Front and the Ardennes abound with accounts of men relying heavily on this unassuming material. Barns and farmhouses became prized refuges, not only for overhead shelter, but because their lofts contained deep layers of straw. Men packed greatcoats full of it to create bulky but effective outerwear. Boots lined with straw kept their toes from freezing, and when socks were missing or wet, soldiers substituted dry straw to maintain some warmth. For bedding, a thick layer of straw formed the foundation beneath a soldier before wrapping up in coats or blankets. In more fortified positions, walls were stuffed or lined with straw to block bone-chilling drafts. Some groups even mixed straw with mud to build insulating walls, enhancing both the sturdiness and warmth of their shelters. The ingenuity was constant, and the survival benefits unmistakable. Those soldiers who ignored these techniques often suffered severe frostbite or worse, while those who embraced straw endured the merciless winters in better health and spirits. This wartime wisdom about straw's insulating power remains profoundly relevant today. For outdoor enthusiasts, survivalists, and bushcrafters, straw is still a vital, readily available tool in cold weather survival. Building a straw bed 6 to 8 inches deep can make the critical difference between hypothermia and warmth when modern gear is absent. Lying on a bare tarp versus a straw mattress reveals the stark thermal contrast immediately and dramatically. Adding straw over one's body further enhances insulation by trapping heat close. Clothing insulation can be improvised by stuffing handfuls of straw inside jackets or between layers, while dry straw packed into boots keeps feet warmer than bare or damp socks. Even basic shelters gain warmth from straw walls or roofing as air pockets significantly slow heat loss. For those preparing for emergencies, straw bales represent an affordable, durable, and multifaceted resource useful for everything from livestock bedding to insulation. Its utility transcends time, connecting past ingenuity to modern survival knowledge. Reflecting on this forgotten insulator reveals deep lessons about resilience, knowledge, and resourcefulness. The fact that soldiers in one of history's deadliest wars turned to straw speaks volumes about survival's true nature. Survival depends more on adapting and understanding simple principles: air trapping, moisture resistance, layering than on sophisticated equipment alone. Straw was not an official issue. It was not glamorous, but it outperformed many carefully designed supplies in the harshest of conditions. For history lovers, it showcases the creativity of soldiers who turned agricultural waste into life-saving tools. For survivalists, it remains a timeless testament to using what the environment provides. And for all of us, it is a reminder that overlooked materials can harbor vast value when facing the elements. While blankets and sleeping bags dominate the stories we tell of wartime struggle, it was the quiet strength of straw, the forgotten insulator, that saved many from the cold that claimed so many lives. Its simple yet effective structure trapped air, resisted collapsing, and kept soldiers alive in winters that tested human endurance to its limits. Today, this knowledge stands not just as history, but as a living tool, proof that survival is as much about wisdom it is about gear. If this exploration of a hidden World War II survival secret resonates, subscribing to channels like In the Beginning offers deeper dives into skills and stories that shaped history. Sharing such lessons with fellow history buffs and survival fans ensures that this vital knowledge endures, equipping future generations to face hardship with courage and creativity. The story of straw is more than about cold. It's about the enduring human spirit to survive and adapt against all odds. And that, perhaps, is the deepest insulation of all.